This is the W2 report with Sanji Himura. Here's Sanji.
Hello everyone and welcome to another exciting episode of the W2 report. I am Crocosquirrel and Len today because we have breaking news in the SSR Wives saga for your entertainment today. So, without further ado, let us go into our court document for today that is going to explain all and why this live stream today. In the Circuit Court of the 6th Judicial Circuit in and for Pinellas County, Florida Civil Division, Joseph Gurman, representing XYZ AI Inc., a Delaware corporation plaintiff, and Hen Studios, a Minnesota liability company, defendants. This is the defendants' response in opposition to plaintiff's emergency motion for order to show cause why defendants should not be held in contempt. Okay, so defendants, by and through undersigned counsel, filed this response in opposition to plaintiff's emergency motion to show cause why the defendants should not be held in contempt for failure to comply with court order and state. Introduction. Plaintiff's motion should be denied because its Synapse Chronicles theory rests on assertion, not proof. The May 29th order prohibits defendants from using the SSR Wives IP or developing a derivative work from SSR Wives. It does not find the current Synapse Chronicles technical preview is derivative, contains stolen source code, contains stolen assets, or uses the SSR Wives protected expression. Plaintiff does not identify a single Synapse code file, Unity scene, prefab, model, texture, shader, audio file, character, UI file, build file, commit, repository object, path, GUID, or hash that came from SSR Wives. The only alleged similarity ever identified was an obsolete X.com menu screenshot and early character preview, neither of which is in the current Synapse technical preview nor planned final game. That cannot support contempt. The evidence shows the opposite. Synapse Chronicles is an independent Corpseworks LLC IP and is visibly, technically, and creatively different from the SSR Wives. SSR Wives is a fixed camera PS1 style survival horror NFT project built on Unity 2021 with a haunted PSX style rendering. Synapse Chronicles is a Unity 6.4 URP futuristic third-person sci-fi action technical preview with custom Corpusworks rendering. Yep, we have a lot of document to go through. 41 pages of document to go through. In fact, rendering stencil shadow, volume highlighting shadows, telekinesis, gravity gun physics, firearms, 3D inventory, photo mode, sci-fi industrial environments, and entirely different characters, story, camera, controls, gameplay systems, visual fidelity, and setting. The side-by-side comparison exhibits attached to as Exhibit 1 make this plain in a way that does not require technical expertise. The games does not look, play, function, or develop from the same protected material. Plaintiff is trying to convert a narrow injunction against SSR Wives IP misuse into a blanket shutdown of a separate Corpseworks project without identifying any copied material, and contempt should be denied. Plaintiff's position is further supported by Exhibit 1, which contains side-by-side comparisons of SSR Wives and Synapse Chronicles, relevant United States copyright. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna take a peek at everything in this live stream. Relevant United States Copyright Office records in an industry expert opinion. Exhibit 1 demonstrates that the projects differ substantially from their visual design, gameplay, mechanics, environments, characters, and overall creative direction, and further highlights plaintiffs' failure to identify any specific SSR Wives source code, asset, or other protected material allegedly incorporated into Synapse Chronicles. Legal standard. Yeah, I'm glad there was an expert too. Because we're not experts, not by any stretch of the imagination, my friend. Civil contempt is remedial and coercive, not punitive. Bowen v. Bowen. A civil contempt sanction must either be coercive compliance or compensate a party for losses actually shown by the record. And it cites Boca Raton Towing versus Boca Raton Towing, Inc. A party may not be held in contempt unless the underlying order is clear, definitive, definite, and sufficient to place the party on notice on what is required. Fernandez v. Fernandez. A court might also find the alleged contemptor had the present ability to comply and willfully refused to do so. Wolf v. Wolf. Punitive contempt or arrest style relief requires heightened due process protections. State Gilman v. Sullivan. I would love to see what those cases actually are, so that way I can actually read them. Argument. Plaintiff has not established a clear, willful violation of the injunctive order. Plaintiff's motion assumes contempt but does not prove it. A contempt filing requires contempt evidence that each defendant violated a clear obligation and had present ability to comply. Fernandez. Also Wolf. Plaintiff improperly lumps all defendants together. The motion does not identify specific conduct by each defendant establishing willful non-compliance. Contempt must be based on individualized proof, not group allegations. That is true. B. Plaintiff Synapse Chronicles allegations are disputed and do not establish contempt. Plaintiff's central claim is that Synapse Chronicles is merely Syn Chronicles under a new name. That is disputed factual conclusion, not proof of contempt. Plaintiff has not established through competent evidence that Synapse Chronicles uses plaintiff's source code, assets, confidential information, trade secrets, or protected SSR IP. Plaintiff relies largely on screenshots, social media posts, and alleged Discord statements. Those statements do not establish contempt on the papers. At minimum, these disputed issues require an evidentiary hearing. Bravo, attorney. Bravo. C. Plaintiff's motion is premature and overbroad. Plaintiffs filed this motion on June 12, 2026, only days after alleged certain compliance deadlines and before the June 18, 2026 forensic imaging deadline had expired. Plaintiff cannot attain contempt relief based on anticipated future non-compliance. If the court believes compliance issues exist, the appropriate remedy is a status conference or evidentiary hearing to clarify compliance procedures, not immediate contempt sanctions, fees, or bodily attachment. D. Plaintiff has not shown present ability to comply and willful refusal. A civil contempt finding requires proof that the alleged contemptor had the present ability to comply and willfully refuse, citing Bowen and Wolf. Plaintiff has not shown that what each defendant currently possesses, controls, and can return or can produce. Without those findings, civil contempt is improper. Bravo! Plaintiff request for bodily attachment is procedurally improper. Plaintiff asks the court to threaten bodily attachment if any defendant fails to appear. That request is extreme and premature. Bodily attachment and punitive contempt consequences require the strict due process protections. Florida Rules of Criminal Procedure 3.8.4.0. 3.840. Plaintiff cannot obtain arrest-style relief based on disputed civil compliance received allegations without proper notice, proof, and findings. Plaintiff has not established an emergency. Plaintiff labels the motion as an emergency, but the allegations do not justify emergency contempt relief. Plaintiff claims are largely based on alleged online activity, speculation about future release, and concerns about preservation. Those concerns can be addressed through ordinary motion practice, a status conference, or an evidentiary hearing. They do not justify immediately contempt sanctions. Attorney's fees and sanctions are not warranted. Because plaintiff has not established contempt, its request for fees, costs, and sanctions should be denied. Any compensatory contempt award must be tied to actual losses proved by contempt evidence. Boca Raton towing. Plaintiff has made no such showing. Because plaintiff has not made a clear, willful violation of a clear, definitive order by each defendant, the motion relies on disputed allegations, unauthenticated online materials, grip pleading, and speculation. Wherefore, defendants respectfully request that this court deny the plaintiff's emergency motion order for order to show cause, denying the plaintiff's request for contempt sanctions, attorney's fees, and bodily attachment, and grant such further relief as the court deemed just and proper. Alternatively, if the court determines that further inquiry is necessary, the defendants request a properly noticed evidentiary hearing before any contempt finding or sanctions are imposed. Dated July 19th, 2026. Respectfully submitted, Anthony F. Sabini. And we go into Exhibit 1. Exhibit B, side-by-side comparison of SSR Wives and Synapse Chronicles, page 1 of 27. Exhibit B, to defendant's response to plaintiff's emergency motion to order to show cause. SSR Wives and Synapse Chronicles side-by-side comparisons. Main menus. This is the main menu. And main menu. Character overviews. Photo mode display. More announced characters. Announced characters. Loading screen. Fixed camera room and third-person action gameplay. Sci-fi environments. Exploration. And we got 17 pages so far. Sci-fi equipment. Okay, this should be nearly the end of it. Plaintiff C. Here we go. This is the part I wanted to see. Industry statement and credentials. Yep. Okay. Now, let's get rid of this. Now, I'm going to share a link to the room. Now, if you want to join in, feel free to enter that link in the chat, and let's talk. Because I'm frankly interested in what you have to say about the whole shebang. Because I know the big document is going to drop Thursday at the latest, but I want to get your burning thoughts on what you have to say about the whole shebang, about what you saw on this teaser. On this teaser of the show so far. Do you think the attorney has something good to say so far about this upcoming motion? So, hello, Mr. Toonstop. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me back on. My microphone may malfunction just a little bit today. I want you to be aware of that. But I thought I would join in after we got this new look at the updated state of the procedure after allowing sufficient space for the opposition to sufficient space for them to be corrected.
Yes. Yes. What you think about the of the fact that they brought in Ian Sedikoff to verify source code?
So I don't know anything about Mr. Sedikoff, but I knew that there was going to need to be the input of some kind of technical expert to alter the direction of the scales in this particular situation. because you can make certain assertions based on pictures you've taken, pictures you've generated, but there's only so much that you can do to fool a judge, a jury, or onlookers when you have a third-party technical expert go in and review the software and present that these are verifiably different software applications.
Right. Now,
so I'm very glad that they were able to get someone in to handle this, particularly someone with the kind of credentials like working on a property for Nintendo.
And even if they got somebody elevated like Nikon, so I mean, this is the guy that develops game engines for these companies, and I want to say, and without disrespecting Mr. Sadikov here, he will be the guy to tell you, yeah, this is done in Unity 6 versus this is based off SSR Wives source code.
Mm-hmm.
And what basically happens here from here on out is that the judge will have to believe either these developers who say, yeah, we developed in Unity 6 for Synapse Chronicles, or he believes the AI generated lies, and I'm saying lies here as a proof of concept here, that Yosef generated, the comparisons that Yosef generated with AI.
Mm-hmm.
But
like this is absolutely going to be a good move for the case. It's very difficult to contest this outside testimony. It's very difficult to contest the different screenshots and descriptions of it, and the repeatability of it is going to be a big thing too. Like they can go back inside the Synapse Chronicles software application and go to those different locations and open those different menus and show that they still function that same way and
right.
don't have an anchor in the design or function of the previous SSR Wives software application.
Well, also what bothers me in the Synapse Chronic when the original injunction came down in I want to say in May. Correct me if I'm wrong. The order came down in May.
Thereabouts, yeah. That's when the hearing was, and that's when the injunction came down.
Okay, so the injunction came down in May. Who's to say that Yosef didn't grab a build of Sin Chronicles and made it look like that? I mean, I have to ask that question.
Well, that depends on his capacity for that, because it's possible to take a Unity build and deconstruct it and fiddle around with it, but then you have to possess the appropriate technical know-how to set everything in the appropriate place to create convincing fake.
I mean, Yosef possessed enough technical know-how to replace the splash screen of the warning screen.
Speaking as someone who's dealt in a little bit of those kinds of systems, all you have to do is switch out an image file or change the text entry. It's not that complicated.
Yeah, it's not that complicated, It's not that complicated to do that, mind you. But if he possessed enough technical know-how to break into those protected files to make that change, who's to say he didn't do other things?
Well, you have to define what a person is going to be capable of to begin with.
Right.
Because certain modding activities are not going to be that difficult. Going in and changing a string of code, going in and changing an image file that's named and dimensioned the same way as the old image file. That's changing a splash screen compared to other things you can do to alter the function of a piece of software. That's not that difficult.
I mean, yeah. In the grand scheme of things, what we're talking about is child's play.
And he under the SSR Wives Twitter account tried to assert a continuation of development with that really that amateurish screenshot with the I can't remember which character it was, but the model,
I think it was the puppy girl.
Functioning. No, it wasn't. It wasn't Lacey. It was that Lolita dress girl with the puppy skirt.
Oh yeah.
There was that property with the white handle and the pink head that had no convincing discernible shape. And there's screenshots of that in that environment, but that doesn't demonstrate a meaningful level of technical ability to create convincing face to perpetuate the asserted force of the injunction he has.
No, absolutely not. And I would take it one step further, and I would say even if a judge did rule that Sin Chronicles did steal from SSR Wives, it only went as far. I would say it only went as far as it shared a similar family of engine, Unity. That's it. If Synapse Chronicles were developed in Unreal, Yosef wouldn't have had a leg to stand on. If Yosef had SSR Wives developed in Unreal and Synapse Chronicles were developed in Unity, the game would have been up a long time ago, because those two engines are radically different from each other. And the way that those engines radically worked differently than each other, it would have been real easy to spot how one engine would have been made, how one game would have been made in one engine than the other. But because both were using two different versions of Unity, that's why we're having this discussion here, I think. And that's why, and personally, that's why I think that we're going to have this evidentiary hearing to to separate Synapse Chronicles from SSR Wives and all the other games that are involved in this lawsuit. That's just my take on it, anyway.
Well, and like this is the evidentiary hearing as it currently exists is something that the only reason for this is in part because Yozo decided he needed to harass ProTag over this newer project. Like this, if he had left it alone, he could have continued to do the case strictly on the merits of the SSR Wives project. His life might have been easier in that regard. But going out and harassing ProTag on the Synapse Chronicles project has created new points of failure in this case. It's going to be a matter of, as this evidence comes out and is heard by the judge, because this isn't a jury trial just yet, but as this evidence comes out and is heard, and this witness testimony is given, and the exhibits from the ProTag side of the case are given, it's going to bring into question basically everything I think that Joseph said throughout the project. It's going to make the rest of his testimony questionable when it's discovered that this set of assertions about Synapse Chronicles were made in bad faith and abused the protective ability that was granted by this injunction.
You're absolutely right.
Now, granted, I'm not 100% familiar with everything that goes on inside a courtroom. Most of my IP work has been from the war room away from the courtroom. I don't know if the answers to these questions are going to have that much of effect on the answers to questions in previous stages of the trial. But in my reckoning of how how that legal process works, it is absolutely clear to me that someone who provides false answers in one stage of it must be liable for re-examination of answers given previously. That's all the commentary I have time to give on this matter today, and I really appreciate you having me on.
No problem. It helps fill the time anyway. I went through that document a little bit too quick for my liking. So
yeah. Awesome.
so it filled time. So thank you for coming on.
Yep. Thanks for having me. Have a good show.
Yeah, no problem. Wow. Yeah, if you'd like to come on, just hit the link in the chat here. This is the link right here. Feel free to join in and let's talk. We have plenty of topics to discuss. We have some stuff to deal with. We have there is some stuff that we can talk about on this special episode of the W2 Report. But if you want to deal with the fact that we have let's actually do this. Okay, so we actually have the Irving Tales coming up. We're currently planning on presenting the Irving Tales at Anime North Texas on August 7th from high noon to 1 p.m. on Friday, August 7th. We currently have the honor of being the first panel of the convention. So join us for that. We're going to talk about some stuff. So if you want to join us for the Irving Tales, join us at Anime North Texas this year. Now, okay, so. Yep, okay. So again, if you want to join the show, there is the link. Please feel free to join us. Please feel free to join us on this special edition of the W2 Report. So have fun. Don't hurt yourself. You know how the rules work. Yeah. So you know how the rules work, and we will have some fun doing some things with you. This will be the last call for call-in guests for this special episode of the W2 Report. And then I will carry on on Twitch. So join us there for some good gameplay. I've yet to decide what I'm going to be doing on Twitch in the next I don't know, hour or so. Mainly because I am mainly because I have not decided what I'm going to be doing. So if you want to join in, link is there. All right, so we have all right. So with that out of the way, we have new filings in the SSR Wives case. We got that. We got that done. All right. Looks like I'm going to be carrying on Twitch. Join us for... join us for... Well, okay. So... join us for something... let's see here. Join us for well, you know what? Join us for join us for something. What do we want to do? What do we want to do, chat? I want to say Belmont's Curse, but it's not out yet. Wah!